Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.
A hot stadium there, and with me in the studio, I'm delighted to say we have Phil Neville, Alex Scott and Didier Drogba making his BBC Sport debut. Off air, Phil asked you if you were nervous, to which your reply was?
Well, as long as I don't get the comments that says got yesterday, I'm good.
Better shirt.
I bet it's not looking like an airline pilot. Where do you, how far do you think France will go in this tournament?
I think they have a good team. They have a very good team, and I see them going quite far, like semi-final or quarter-final. They went to the final of the Euro, and it was a good experience for them. A bad experience because they lost it, but I think they can learn from this and progress in the competition.
I always find it odd when we talk about their consistency, because you always have different squads at tournaments. And actually, since '98, as Didier says, final of the Euros in 2016, they lost to the eventual winners in 2014 in the quarterfinals and got to the final in 2006. But we concentrate on the negatives of 2002 and 2010.
We do, but this France team is stacked with talent, and that's what we're sitting here. We're hoping that that talent shows up today, because they're exciting. The youngsters, the skill they possess, that's what we want to see, this vibrant young French team.
With Peru and Denmark, the other two teams in this group, would you expect, and you know Tim Cahill well, we'll talk about that later, but would you expect Australia just to try and stifle this, not that I don't want to undersell the game, but stifle it, get something out, get anything out of it if possible, and then concentrate more on Peru and Denmark?
Yeah, I think it's the most difficult game in the group for them, but I think it's sometimes when you play the best team first, particularly in the first game of a World Cup. You know, France, had they got into the rhythm, they've not been great in the pre-game warm-up games, and I think it's a game where I think maybe Australia can dig in, show the spirit, and maybe just catch a surprise.
Well, i.e., you know that you will have more chances, whereas, for example, Morocco losing to Iran yesterday, I think we've still got Portugal and Spain to play, so that could be all over.
Yeah, I think that will be the outlook from Australia. I think it just survive this game, don't concede a lot of goals, and make sure that they then go into the next game, games full of confidence and looking to pick up the points. OK, well, let's take a look at the French lineup this afternoon in Kazan. In goal, captain Hugo Lloris plays for France for the 99th time. Fullbacks Pavard and Hernandez have won just 11 caps between them. Bayern Munich's Corentin Tolisso plays instead of Matuidi, and you've got the familiar faces there of Kante and Pogba. And this forward line is thrilling, isn't it? Dembele and Mbappe flanking the Euro 2016 Golden Boot winner Antoine Griezmann, and they will line up in that 4-3-3 formation. So after what some may call a frustrating season with Manchester United, is the stage set for Paul Pogba to shine for his country?
Back to Man United, you know, he could have gone somewhere else, and it was unfinished business for him. So to come back and want to prove that I can play here, I can be one of the best in that team, and that's my favorite team. So I think it was a big challenge for him.
Patrick Vieira has written in the Times this morning that he needs to get back to basics, and N'Golo Kante alongside him will help him. But do you want to see him try things?
You do, because he brings that air of excitement, that skill level that he can do. He can unlock defence with those passes that he does. But we want Paul Pogba. We're all waiting for him to become that talent that we all know he's got the capabilities. A football player's career is quite short, so you don't want to be that Paul Pogba that finishes his career and people say he could have been one of the best in the world. You've got to go and prove yourself.
Yeah, I think his personality is actually his biggest quality. You know, the ability, the hairstyles, the emojis.
So why do some pundits criticise him? Why do some pundits criticise him for changing his hair, for being on Instagram, which is
because
what most young people his age
Paul
do?
Pogba's got, or the confidence to go out there and actually go out there and play with the same skill and the same personality. Look, he can be one of the great midfield players. I don't think he's fulfilled his potential yet, and I think in this World Cup we need to see the real Paul Pogba. You look at the performance in the second half in the Manchester derby, that was Paul Pogba. We need to see that consistently now, and I think the setup and the system with France suits him better than at Manchester United with Kante and Tolisso in there. So, look, it's made for him this type of tournament.
I just want to take a look at the French fullbacks, because they're not their normal Oh, I tell you what, we'll come to the French fullbacks in a minute. We'll look at Paul Pogba. We'll continue to look at Paul Pogba at the moment.
What Phil was saying, though, Mark, is we all know Paul Pogba's got it, but the best players do it consistently. It's not just your one-off performances. We saw in last night's game with Ronaldo. He consistently does it on the big stage, and that's what we need from Paul Pogba.
But you look at these bits of quality. These are bits of quality that probably not many midfield players in the world can do. You know, the ability to play with both feet, the ability to get from box to box. I mean, I think in the air is his biggest strength, running late from in the box. I don't think he scores enough goals like that. But you know what? I think every time I see him on the ball, he's the type of player say, right, excite me. He's the type of player that I want to see on the ball because he can do things that others can't.
There is also a danger in that we look at it from a very Premier League perspective. I mean, he was the young player of the World Cup 2014. Yeah, he had a good Euros as well. So he does deliver in the national shirt, even though there's still a debate about it.
I think he does deliver. And the fact that he had some difficult moments in the last few months at United, you know, he's being more quiet on social medias and focusing more on coming back in the starting lineup. I think this will help him, and he's going to want to prove to a lot of people that he can be the man.
Right, now let's talk about fullbacks. With you two, I'm so desperate to talk fullbacks.
Don't talk fullbacks to me.
No, I'm going to address this.
I've got this.
I've got a world-class fullback here in you, so I'm going to talk to Alex. Pavard and Hernandez, who wouldn't normally be France's first two choices at fullback, with Sidibe and Mendy, who are arguably more attacking.
They are, because that's their natural positions. When you look at Pavard, they've had great seasons for Stuttgart, and Hernandez on the other side plays for Atletico Madrid. But that's from centre-back, and they've had huge praise, but it's only been sporadically that they've been playing it and filling in at right-back and left-back. And it does, I think today, those two full-backs, they just need to play to their strengths. They're not the marauding full-backs of Mendy and Sidibe. So just play to your strengths. You're good at 1v1 defending, and actually, you've got all the attacking players in front of you, so you don't actually need to do that.
But is it a difficult balance? Because you could look at, say, an English batsman in Test cricket and say, right, do you play your natural game, or do you have to adapt to the situation that your team are in? So in a game like today, you would say, just adapt more to the team, wouldn't you? Or would you say play your natural game?
Play your natural game. As a footballer, you have to play to your strengths. And they are. Both of them are very good at 1v1 defending. They're both fast, so they won't get beaten behind. So just do that. Have a steady game. You haven't really got the experience at a World Cup. So go and have a fantastic game playing to your strengths. OK, let's show you the Australian team then that Bert van Marwijk has selected this afternoon here in Russia. Matt Ryan, of course, enjoyed a great season for Brighton. He's in goal. Centre-back Mark Milligan is at his 4th World Cup. The midfield duo, Millie Jedinak of Aston Villa, and he's alongside Huddersfield's Aaron Moy. Leckie and Cruz provide the pace in the 3, with Celtic's Tom Rogic pulling the strings. And then the man up front is Andrew Nabbout, who only made his Socceroos debut back in March. And they will play in that 4-3-2-1 formation. As I said, hoping to keep France out this afternoon is the Brighton goalkeeper, Matt Ryan, and he's been talking to the former Aussie goalkeeper, Mark Schwarzer.
Well, he's got great experience. He got to the World Cup final with Holland, so he's got great experience. He's set them up to play a certain way, and that will be probably to defend deep. I know they're worried about the two centre-backs in terms of the spacing behind, particularly after against this French team. But he says the system, the camaraderie, the spirit is what they'll be hanging on to, because he knows they're a young team, they lack a little bit of quality, but the spirit of this Australian team is fantastic.
I want to take it to the French forwards now. So we've got Dembele, we've got Mbappe and Griezmann, which is wow, and it is thrilling, and we're going to see some of the best of Antoine Griezmann here. But I'm interested, from your point of view as a striker, how the three of them interact with each other and don't get in each other's way.
I think they need to look at each other during the game, and now I think they had time to figure out which one plays in this position, which one is more comfortable in that space, and they will find, they'll need to move. They will move. They'll be constantly moving and trying to find the right space to be in the best position to take a chance. And
would Antoine Griezmann for you be the one who dictates that as the more senior member of the three? I
think he's the most experienced player in this team and in the attacking players. And he's going to dictate the tempo of the game, I think.
And then you were actually saying, Didier, when you look at this French team, the leaders, you actually believe he's got the capabilities to lead this French team?
Yeah, knowing that he played for Atletico Madrid, and he's surrounded with like a lot of leaders. You know, he will dictate the tempo for the attacking team.
I think with Griezmann, what you've got an all-round centre forward. You've got someone that's really good in the air. Don't underestimate him in the air because he's got a great leap. He's got great speed in behind. He can go out to the left. He can go out to the right. He can drop in and play number 10. So I think Didier is right in terms of the front three. He is the main man, but with Mbappe and Dembele, who likes to play on the right, I think they've got the licence to be interchanging and flexibility.
And that's what would make it hard for the Australian defenders. They would be in their hotel yesterday thinking, how are we going to stop this front three? But if they keep moving and interchanging with positions, that's a defender's nightmare because you don't know what space they're going to turn up in.
But Kylian Mbappe would have every cause to think, well, aren't I the main man? Bearing in mind, I cost a lot of money to go to Paris Saint-Germain. I'm one of the biggest, you know, young talents in the world.
I think he had this little experience in Paris Saint-Germain with Neymar being the main man and him having to adapt to that. So he knows already how to deal with this. And with Griezmann, I think they get on really well, so it's going to be easy.
And that system is slightly different. If they played, for example, if they played Olivier Giroud, you think they could maybe have dropped Griezmann behind Giroud in the same way that Atletico did with Costa and...
Yeah, I think so, because Griezmann is a striker, you will agree with me, but he's never marked.
No.
You saw the goal he scored, he's never with a defender, he's always in between the lines, so Giroud could take care of the defenders and he would be in between the lines and play the second balls or playing...
I think France would be better with Giroud and Griezmann up there because Giroud is the one that's the focal point.
Who would you leave out? Who would you leave out of Mbappe?
It's not my job to leave anyone out. What I'm saying is that Griezmann likes to play
actually,
free.
it is actually not for the France team, but it is in your
Well,
actual
I think
day
what you'll see. I think what you'll see if Giroud and Griezmann play,